Lately, I was watching on Captain Ibrahim Traoré's video when a journalist was interviewing him
Yeah.
and asking when will this war end between
The
the
terrorists.
terrorists. And what I saw was the mood that Captain Ibrahim Traoré
From,
was putting on
yeah.
was as if he's depressed. I don't know.
As if he's tired.
He's tired.
Well, personally, I don't feel like he's tired, I feel like uneasy is the head that wears the crown. Though, the pressure from the enemy side, from those that don't believe, that continue to spread false information about what is going on in Burkina Faso, most especially look at people in the United States or people in France. You can only imagine what they will be showing them. There are journalists that are dedicated to showing the negative side of what is going on in Burkina Faso. Like every day, every time, what they broadcast is the negative things going on. And, you know, he sees all those things. He sees the people that post good things. He sees the people that shares bad things. So when you are at war, Burkina Faso is not fighting terrorism. They are at war, because you have to look at the equipment that is being supplied to those terrorists. You know, who is supplying those equipment? The terrorists continue to come in. From where do they recruit them? So there's a lot of questions to be answered, but I feel like he's trying his best and he's human too. So it's not easy. So I just feel like for one moment right there, you know, everything just soak into you. Even though you want to motivate people, sometimes it's very hard to motivate people that don't want to get motivated. But it's just that some of us are already motivated. We don't need anybody to come and motivate us. Yeah.
Let's talk about the popular Watau.
Yeah.
And he has been fighting a lot of war and
Yeah.
he has been winning,
Yeah.
and the soldiers are looking up to. He's someone that the soldiers are looking up to.
Yeah.
Of recent, they
Yeah.
keep transferring him
Yeah.
from one unit to another.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know, what do you think this what kind of impact will this make with the
Okay.
previous soldiers that have
Well,
passed through?
he has been the commander of so many rapid intervention brigade battalion, and when you hear the name Watau, it sends a very loud message. This man single-handedly with his BIR-7 offensive, they completely capitulated most of the enemies in the southwestern Burkina Faso. Like, the enemy knows his name, Captain Watau. And the funny thing is, this Watau, the day when I hear Watau, he sounds like someone black African chieftain with very huge face. The day I saw that guy's face, I think Watau cannot be more than 27 years old. If he's anything older, very young, innocent looking with low cuts, like he looks so decent and clean. And I looked at him, I was like, man, how can this young dude be this ferocious? So I feel like, I don't know, maybe he just has that warrior DNA in him. Maybe that warrior blood runs in his vein. And just like in football and every other sport, there are just some people that just stand out in their work ethic, in their discipline, in everything they do. They just seems like one step ahead of the rest. So I feel like transferring Watau from unit to unit in Burkina Faso is good and bad. Okay, is bad in the sense that it might affect the morale of his group to an extent. This is your commander, the man you look up to every day. Oh, Watau in the camp? Yes, in the camp. Like, everywhere is Delta Hotel, and suddenly they move him to a unit called Force Tech. Now he has been moved from another unit to BIR-7 before. What I believe is the negative impact could be, losing a comrade, a brother in arm that is so strong, you know, and impacts you every day, your everyday life, how you live, how you wake up, how you train. But on the other side, the positive aspect is I feel like they are trying to transfer the Watau's identity. They're trying to transfer it to several other soldiers. You know, they say show me your friend, I tell you. Yeah, it doesn't really work in every situation, but I feel like Captain Watau being transferred to Forza Tech, I think it will bring, and he's now the new command. Everywhere he gets transferred to, as young as he is, he becomes the commander. Now they even said he's the commander in chief of the Forza Tech. And Forza Tech is like, you're talking about the Spetsnaz, you're talking about the elite of the elites. So these are the baddest guys from all the battalions. So anywhere they step is a wrap. So I feel like now he's the commander. So I feel like the new guys, they have something to learn from him again. He's not and you know, as a commander, you are responsible for your men. You can't just waste your men like that. And you know, his record, his reputation has moved ahead of him. And I think the good side of it is that everywhere this guy goes to, people learn from him. And if they are able to take away the lesson that they've learned from Watau, it will make them good soldiers. So when Watau is gone, they can continue with the Watau identity. So I call it, to the new guys, I call it the Watau moment is here. So the earlier they embrace it, the better.
Every time the Burkina soldiers keep defeating these terrorists, they keep getting more soldiers and more equipment. And we don't know where these equipment are coming from. I don't know. When do you think this war is going to end? Is it anytime soon or something that is...
Well, actually, what I'll say about this war is that this is not a regular conventional war. Burkina Faso armed forces are not fighting against soldiers. If you're fighting against soldiers, you know where the soldiers are going to be. You know they are going to be in their military posts. You know they are going to be in their barrack. So you have to conquer post to checkpoints to barrack. You have to take over the military industrial complexes. You have to take over what you have to take over and win. But this is terrorism. You know, you're fighting terrorism. It's always a long war, you know, because you're fighting people that are not fighting the conventional style of combat. They fight the non-conventional. Most of the time, guerrilla attack. Most of the time, they attack at night, you know. So they use different type of things. They strap improvised explosive device into the ground, you know. The most important thing is that the Burkinabe armed forces, you know, they've never lost their morale. They continue to fight, and I think they have like their calling is great. Like they have the higher calling. They know that this fight is existential. It's either you win it or you lose your humor, you lose everything, you lose your identity, you lose everything. So it's a battle for their independence, in my opinion. You know, we celebrate independence in Africa, but sincerely, I don't think any African country, except these three, I don't think any African country really have independence like that. Look at what is going on in South Africa. I think South Africa should be one of the most modern among all of them. But at the end of the day, South Africa still look as if it's not, you know, it's dominated by the white supremacists and all of that. There's apartheid and all of that. So I think it's either you continue to hide and run away from the reality, or you just stand up all of a sudden and you be like, man, it's high time I fight for my freedom. So what I do feel is that the Burkinabes are fighting an attritional war. And in the war of attrition, you have to demilitarize the enemy. You have to continue to, you know, to destroy the enemy. The more they come, the more you destroy. So the attritional war is not about moving several miles in a day. It's about moving, even if it's 100 meters, you can beat your chest that within this 100 meters, I have been able to destroy every living organism that does not support the state in this territory. I've been able to completely extinguish them. It takes a long time, but at the end of the day, by the time the war is over, there will be no sort of institutional capacity of that enemy in that region again, you would have been able to successfully break them down to their root in such a way that they cannot come back again. They cannot build up again. You destroy every type of capacity they have. And I think that's what Burkina Faso is doing. I think it's not a war that we should, it's not like the Western style of fighting, look at what happened to America in Afghanistan. They took over Afghanistan within 3 weeks or something. And after 20 years, they chased them out because America sprints. America don't understand attrition. They don't understand what they call, the Western world don't understand the war of attrition. That's why they keep on saying Russia is not doing anything, because they expect Russia to just bombard everyone and dominate the whole place. No, that's not how it works. Russia fought Sweden for 21 years. So, you know what it means for somebody to fight someone for 21 years. So, I believe that the way this war has been going on now since Captain Ibrahim Traoré took over in Mali, the same thing. So, it's been going on for years now. But we can guarantee something. If all other African countries are working in collaboration with them, it would have made a lot of sense because everybody would have been able to contain their territory. But we have a situation where these three are just the only one fighting terrorism in the whole of West Africa. And terrorism is a common thing in West Africa. So I feel like they are doing a great job. Even the job that Nigeria is supposed to be doing, that's what they are doing. And they are really, really raising their defense spending. So I feel like, like Captain Ibrahim Traoré said, that very soon we're going to see the Black Albino. So I feel like at the end of the day, it's going to take a while, but the end is on sight. It's on sight. We can see that Burkina Faso now, they have boots all over their territory. So it's now down to who is going to give up. Yeah. As long as the money continues to come, the funding, the terrorists won't give up easily. They believe it's jihad. They believe they are fighting for the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Burkinabe is actually fighting for their existence because at this point you can't give up. At this point, and even the citizens cannot give ground to enemies. They cannot give ground to the regime change. So all of us, all lands has to be on deck. We can look, if the AES states, God forbid, if they fail, Africa will never ever have anything like this again because the hegemon, the colonialists will make sure that this type of loophole that happened, that brought this whole AES thing, they will make sure it never happens again. Even if it will mean that whatever leader that is on point will have to, exterminate anything called a protest or something, So it's existential, and they know what it is. The citizens were the one that kicked out the French, not the leaders, So it's their fight, and surely Captain Ibrahim Traoré said they will never give up. So when you're fighting somebody that tell you I won't give up, it now has a lot to do with how much of a dog do you have in you. So I believe that at the end of the day, Burkina Faso is going to win this war. I feel like Mali is already winning the war. Niger is already winning the war. ECOWAS used to have ECOMOG. Now they have their own stuff now, like ECOMOG too. So, I mean, they are building in the right direction, and they have a very good partner like Russia that is able to support them too. So, yeah, and China and North Korea. So, they're in the right direction, and we believe that the win is on sight.